What is Agile? Is Agile just another buzzword used by people who don't really know? Or is it a way to maximize resources, save time, and greatly increase productivity?
Welcome to Agile Basics, the Sprint Review Meeting and Demo. The Sprint Review Meeting is an excellent opportunity to show management what has been accomplished in a sprint. We also discuss progress amongst the team and set velocity, but what's key with an Agile team is to make sure that management is bought in and show off what we've done and then build that confidence for long term. Gone are the days, we hope, of management discontent, frustration due to lack of progress. We counter this with the Agile Sprint Review and Demo by showing what we've done, keeping management engaged, and providing proof that we can be successful. If you've watched our section on sprint planning, you see how closely sprint planning and the sprint review meeting are related. Really, with sprint planning, what you're going to do is build out what you hope to demo in the sprint review and demo meeting. Sometimes there is no demo, but that it's very paramount that in the sprint planning meeting, you guide the sprint such that the goal in mind is a valid demo for the business. If that's not the case, you defer till the next sprint. Our goals for the sprint review meeting. First of all, for the team, let's talk about the stories that were completed for the sprint and establish our velocity. Secondly, for the stakeholders, we want to demo what was completed in the sprint, as we've talked about getting buy-in. First part is just going to be the team, 30 minutes to an hour, talk about stories that were completed. So the basics of this meeting are as follows. The Scrum Master will lead the meeting, and we want to update the JIRA board. In this example, these stories would have been moved along during the daily stand-ups, but we're going to go ahead and move them to symbolize what we would have done over the course of the sprint. So we're moving these stories from to-do to in progress, setting them accordingly. And again, in this process, once they're in process, you would hope the product owner would determine if the stories are done. See our Agile Basics breakout on Agile terminology for a definition of done and acceptance criteria. We won't get into that here. Suffice to say, in this example, the product owner has approved them. They've been moved for completion, and they're set to complete. So as we continue to move these stories along, we see that we've got them all complete. The final one taking a little bit longer symbolically because there's more to test with a functional unit testing team. So we get these moved over, and then we note the fact that although our team velocity was 22, we've gone ahead and completed 25 story points worth of stories. That was by design, just to have enough to include in this demo. So we're not going to change the team velocity, going to leave it as is, as 22. Next up, it's time for the demo. So you get the stakeholders together and get ready to present. Hopefully you've rehearsed this. So for this case, the sprint demo goals include the user should log into the main screen, and we want to use production data here. So for this example, we're going to take a director's credentials, log in, and then try a wrong password and see if we get a negative result. So in this case, we've logged in with the correct credentials. We're going to see if it does in fact connect, putting in the correct password here. And fingers crossed it works, or else we're going to be embarrassed. It does work. Account verified. So then we're going to negative test with the wrong password. Hopefully we'll get something else. And again, password incorrect, error. It does work on both positive and negative tests. So your takeaway here should be that a successful sprint demo can really help your project and your relationship with the business. But whereas a successful sprint demo can be a boon to your project, a poorly planned, unsuccessful demo can create a bad impression with the business. So we recommend to spend at least 1 to 2 dry runs of the demo before you present to the stakeholders. Next, let's talk about what you should include in the demo and what you should not. For one thing, it needs to be visual. We want to include functioning code, something the stakeholder can look at and say, wow, that's impressive. Visual functionality, not database or code blocks. Nobody wants to see that. They can't relate to it unless they're technical. And secondly, you need to have a polished presenter, where sometimes the developers can relay what they've done, have the product owner, preferably the product owner or the Scrum Master present, and then be able to field questions from the stakeholders if need be. But it needs to be polished and rehearsed. That is all for this time. Please join us for our next video where we discuss more Agile basics, this time the sprint retrospective, opportunity for lessons learned and course correction. Thanks again.
Thanks for watching our video. Please subscribe to our channel and join us next time.